Hi everyone, and welcome again to my audiovisual channel. My name is Gabriela Handal. If you're new, I am a draftsman, meaning that I like to draw stuff, and I just want to try out a quick one-off video here of something that occurred to me a few days ago what was I doing? Give me a second. Just a minute. It's been on my mind, sort of, since a guest that I had in my podcast, a conversation about art, insinuated something about how photography isn't art. Something about how, because the placement of photons or light or whatever happened within the camera or something. That's kind of how it started, and that's been on my mind since I caught it, kind of. And I didn't ask more about it because, the podcast, I try to keep it to 1 hour, and I want to ask the two specific questions, meaning what is art and what is beauty. So I didn't go further into that. But, so I don't remember exactly the train of thought, but I ended up thinking about how cameras are sort of the precursor, or like the prelude, or the great-great-grandparents of the AI art generators. And I know that I'm saying a lot. I don't really know how long I can talk about this because, as usual, or as I did with the Dennis Dutton videos, I'm doing it right before I talk with my guest for the podcast, so I don't have that much time. But anyway, the thing is that the reason for which I kind of thought that, it's because I think it's a commonality between the two. So I have nothing against AI art generators. I think they're a positive thing. I don't think they're negative. But I don't think it's the person making the image. The person is giving the device instructions, a description, and then the AI generator does what it will, and it makes the image. And then the person commanding the device can then change the instructions, add more stuff, and then the AI will do whatever it will and make changes. Something like that. I don't have that much experience using them. I don't have the patience, but something like that. Similarly, cameras, the making of the image happens within the camera. And similarly, the person taking the photograph does something similar to giving the camera a prompt by pointing at whatever framing the person chooses, and the instructions of aperture, and I don't remember all the things that you can do in the camera, but something like this. And I do think it takes skill to take good photographs and to make good AI images. But here I kind of like the discussion of whether it is art or not. I don't have, and also, like, I have nothing against photography. I think photography can be great. And just like with art, there is shitty as hell photography and really good photography. Photography that's nothing out of the ordinary, and amateur photography that is obviously amateur, I don't know that much about photography, but I can, but it's so obvious that even I can tell, But yes, so I was telling my husband about this whole muse about the camera kind of being like the great-grandparent of the AI art generator. because of the argument that the physical production of the image happens within the camera, and likewise the making of the image occurs within the AI. Who knows what the AI is doing in there, or whatever. And he was like, oh, but then, who is the one making the image if you're wielding a pencil? Because there's less kind of in between me and the image, the maker of the image and the artist and the image, sort of, because there's only one pencil, as opposed to the complete mystery that the AI is and the device that is the camera, but I kind of also like the discussion, I guess, or the muse about who really is making the image just for kicks, just like as a thought experiment or thought exercise, whatever you may want to call it. And I guess after that, I am reminded of a class that I've taught called Multiple Exposure Drawing, which is a class where I teach how to do kind of like that layered drawing fashion in which I drew the self-portraits as a victim from a while ago. And when I would talk to my students about using photograph reference, and that's applicable to any time that you use a photographic reference, is that you have to be careful with the image that you use and aware when you're using an image that you found off the internet, an image that you then printed out of a printer. You have to be careful because those devices have made decisions about the appearance of that image. And it isn't strictly to ascribe sentience to the device, because it's a program, it's been programmed to behave in a way, but it's still making decisions that you did not choose. So then that's kind of why if you look at an image on your computer or on your phone and then you print it out, they look different. There's like little things that are different from one to the other. It's like the color looks different, the definition of certain things probably looks different, like this type of stuff. And when you're using photographic reference, like the paper, it's like all of these external elements over which you have no control as the person that wants to use that image as a reference. Those decisions were made for you already, and you had no control over them. So there's something like that mixed in with all of these thoughts. And even though, like, again, of course skill is required to wield a camera and take a good photograph, the camera kind of in a way being a really rudimentary sort of program device is the one who is kind of making its own decisions in a way, sort of. And that sounds like Asimov's sci-fi type robot. The camera is a robot. Maybe it might be like a very simple program, but it's based on kind of the further instructions that you put in. It's already kind of programmed to take certain paths depending on the instructions that you give it. And of course, if you do, for example, like analog photography, there's also things that you can play with the image that's printed on the photography paper when you what's it called when you do the light thing? I don't remember. When you take your film and you print it on photography paper, you can make different images that way, and then you can kind of have some more autonomy over the resulting image. But yeah, there's something in there about how much happens between wanting to make an image and the end result. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that for now, and you can tell me what you think. If you think photography is art, I'd like you to tell me why. And if you don't think it's art, I would like you to tell me why. Why you think so. And, oh right, and there was also another similarity or kind of another, I don't know, parallel type thing in the relationship between cameras and the AI art generators that I was thinking of, which is, before chemistry we had alchemy, and before astronomy we had astrology, and before science we had religion, So the point being that there's a precedent to all of that stuff because everything has to start somewhere. Nothing comes out of nowhere like that. So, I don't know. Tell me what you think about these things. And if you got a kick out of the video, if you're pissed off at how dare I suggest that photography is not an art, then, let me know. But remember to like and share this video and subscribe to my audiovisual channel anyway so that I can piss you off again in the future, or maybe not, or maybe I don't piss you off, and maybe this stuff makes you laugh, or makes you think, and it makes you want to have a conversation and leave me a text block in the comments. That's cool too. I'll read it and I'll reply to you. Yes. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for indulging me, my little monologue here, and have a fantastic day.